The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 12th day of January 2024. And we begin our National League side of the equation today with a game between the New York Mets and the Montreal Expos from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. And for the Mets, they come into this 1988 season maybe with the highest expectations they've ever had in their franchise history. This is the year that they should win their second title in 3 years. The last two times the New York Mets won 100 games as a franchise, they won the World Series. 1969, they were 100-game winners. And 1986, they won 108 before barely surviving the Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox. This year was their brag year. They had traded division titles with the St. Louis Cardinals back and forth. The Cardinals in 85 and 87. The Mets were fully expecting to win it all in 88. In fact, I think they won this division by 15. So expectations in Flushing Meadow are high, and it has nothing to do with Steffi Graf and her Golden Slam. It's all Mets all the time, and this is really the height of their, well, let's be honest. I think at this era of baseball in New York, it was all about the Mets. The Yankees were the second fiddle. The Expos are a good team. They play in the absolutely wrong division to contend, but their pitching is quite good, as you'll see when we get to Pascual Perez numbers in a minute. But this really is all about the Mets. Now, in real life, these two teams started in Montreal, and on opening day, the clips are on YouTube, Darryl Strawberry hit the speaker by the roof in right field. It's a dome. Or at least it had that god-awful orange thing on top. This place was just horrific for baseball. But nevertheless, here we are. The Mets and the Expos on our first regularly Wednesday night game of the year. It's live, it's yours, it's next. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1988 today from Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Quebec. It is the Montreal Expos and the New York Mets, and today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And as you can see, it's Ron Darling and Pascual Perez on the mound in what should be a good pitcher's duel here at the Big O. No, I want this button. How you doing, John? So the Mets 1-0 on this extremely young season lineup like this. Lenny Dykstra leads off in center field. Wally Backman will play second and bat second. Keith Hernandez, who would miss a large chunk of this 88 season, at first will go third. Darryl Strawberry, who did homer in the replay on opening day, cleans up and right. Kevin McReynolds, one of the big acquisitions the Mets made after their World Series win in 86, will bat fifth and play left field. Gary Carter, behind the plate, will bat sixth. And don't you think that Montreal's front office loses sleep over Gary Carter for Hubie Brooks? Howard Johnson will play third and bat seventh. Kevin Elster is Rafael Santana's replacement at short. His offensive production kind of mirrors mine. And Ron Darling gets the call on the mound. He will bat ninth. Perez should throw about 115 pitches. Pascual is 31 years old, over from the Braves. Fastball pitcher, 87, and a standard pitcher. In 27 starts, he would go 12-8 with a 2.44 ERA. He would throw 188 innings, 133 hits, 15 home runs. He walked 41 and struck out 131. And, of course, it's his first start of the year. Defensively for the Expos, Tim Raines a 5 and a 4 in left. Mitch Webster is a 6 in center, but that has that Ramanoodle arm of a 1. Hubie Brooks is in right. I forgot about that. A 4 and an 8 out there, so a good arm. Tim Wallach, an underrated defensive third baseman, is a 10 there. Louis Rivera is a 6 at short. Casey Candell is at second. He's a 6. And the big cat, Andres Galarraga, is 7 at first. Reed behind the plate, a 6 and a 6, and Perez is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Dykstra 2 for 5 in the opener, 270, 8 homers, and 33 RBI in 88. And on a beautiful night in the Dome, it's a pop-up to Candell. Casey, behind the dirt, makes the catch 1 out. For Wally Backman, who did not play in the opener, 303, no homers, and 294 at-bats, and 17 RBI. Perez winds and fires. There's a ground ball to Rivera. Louis has it, throws to Galarraga for the out, 2 away. Good start for the Spos. So here's Keith Hernandez, 0 for 4 with a strikeout in the opener. 276 in limited action, 11 homers, and 55 RBI. John says Casey Candell was taught to play by his grandmother, who was in the All-American Girls Pro Baseball League, or a league of their own. And as Tom Hanks says, there's no crying in baseball. That was wrong, Ron. Pitch to Hernandez. There's a slow chopper to Galarraga. He'll underhand it to Perez, and that will take care of the Mets in the first. After half an inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. It's the Mets nothing. Here come the Spos. So let's tell you about Ron Darling, which is something my wife calls me every once in a while. Oh, Ron Darling. Ron made 34 starts in 88. He went 17 and 9. 28 years old, fastball pitcher at 89, and a flyball pitcher. And if you wonder why the Mets were successful in 88, consider that their front three of Dwight Gooden, Ron Darling, and David Cone went 55 and 21, including Coney's 20 and 3 record in 88. That's remarkable. Darling went 240 and 2/3, 218 hits, 24 homers. He walked 60 and struck out 161. Here's how the Expos will line up. Raines will lead off in left field. Mitch Webster will bat second and play center. Hubie Brooks in right will go third. Tim Wallach cleans up at third. Andres Galarraga, a prototypical 21st century hitter. I'll get to that when he gets up. At first will bat fifth. Jeff Reed behind the plate will go sixth. Louis Rivera at short will bat seventh. Casey Candell at second batting eighth. And Perez will bat ninth on the mound. I do too, Jamie. The big board card feature just makes... I don't have to do slides this year. I didn't last year for the playoffs anyway, but my work is done. Defensively for the Mets, McReynolds a 5 and a 9 in left. Dykstra a 4 and a 3 in center. Strawberry a 6 and a 7 in right. Howard Johnson is a 3 at third. Kevin Elster a 5 at short. Really, they got rid of Rafael Santana for that. Wally Backman a 3 at second. And, of course, Keith Hernandez, the perpetual Gold Glove, is a 10 at first. Gary Carter an 8 and a 5 behind the plate. And Darling is a 7 on the mound with a .945 fielding percentage. Raines 1 for 4 in the opener with a steal. 270, 12 homers, and 48 RBI in 88. Darling deals, and there's a slow ground ball to Elster on the pit. Throws to Hernandez, 1 out. Jamie was there last night. We did the Sabre seminar with Dave Cook of Action PC. Had a great time doing it. Dave always is a wonderful guest. We had him on Digital Dice. And his Little League stories that he shared were legendary. There's a reason why people play these games and not play in real life. And Dave is one of those examples. Mitch Webster 1 for 4 with an RBI in the opener. 255, 2 homers, and 13 RBI in 259 at-bats. Darling's pitch. Fly ball, center field. Dykstra moves back a step or 3, makes the catch 2 away. Brings up Hubie Brooks, 1 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. And the Mets opener. Expos lost, by the way. Hubie, 279, 20 homers and 90 RBI in 88. In the left, the crowd likes it. Back goes Mick Reynolds, way back there. 1-0 Expos. Oh my goodness, he crushed it. So what was that? What was that about resenting the Carter trade? That ball was absolutely smoked. Darling got so much of the plate, the department store calls they want their box set back. My word. That was hit up in the football seats. So 1-0 Expos, 2 out for Wallach, 1 for 4 with a strikeout in the opener. 257, 12 homers, and 69 RBI. That Tribe fan says someone had a little extra gravy with their poutine pregame. Oh yeah, a little maple syrup with that. And Wallach draws the walk, so Darling a bit stunned. That would have been in the old bleachers at Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's how hard that one was hit. Here's Galarraga, the big cat, 1 for 4 in the opener. He struck out 3 times. He hit .302 in 88. I alluded to in the opener that he's a prototypical 21st century hitter. In 29 homers, 92 RBI, he struck out 153 times, but had 184 hits. Strikes out. So that's the inning. Darwin just shaking his head. The solo homer from Brooks, the only hit. The Expos leave a runner on, and after 1-0 Montreal. So Strawberry, McReynolds, and Carter. Darrell homered in the opener. 1 for 3, walked and scored twice. 269 for Darrell in 88. 39 homers and 101 RBI. I mentioned that he hit the speaker in real life on opening day. So when I hit pitch here, take a look over by where the Montreal lineup is on the screen. It's those speakers. It's one of those that he hit. He rips this one in the left center, and Strawberry's got himself a stand-up double. So the first hit for the Mets. And then I'll bring up McReynolds. Again, I don't know who they traded to San Diego to get him, but McReynolds was a huge part of this team. 1 for 3, a homer and 2 RBI in the opener. 288, 27 homers and 99 RBI on the real year. Perez deals, and there's a fly ball left field. Rain should get there. He will, and Strawberry goes back to second. He's trying for third. The throw is into Rivera, and Darrell's in there easily. So 1 out for Carter. Gary went 0 for 4 with a strikeout in the opener. 242, 11 homers, and 46 RBI. Gary Carter's probably one of the only people in Mets history that you're never going to hear anyone ever say a bad word about. Pitch to Gary, hit him. Apparently Pascual Perez had a few words. Got him on the ribs, which is not what you want. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Howard Johnson, who went 2 for 4 in the opener, a solo homer. 230 and 88, 24 homers and 68 RBI. So Strawberry on third, Carter on first. Perez deals, and Hojo rips this one into right field. Back goes Brooks, away back there, and that ball is long gone. A 3-run homer from Howard Johnson. Go get your fried clams. All you can eat Fridays at Hojo's, and Hojo's, in this case, delivered. His second of the year. And it's 3-1 New York. Talk about a little extra gravy with their poutine. So we put that one in the alley, and there'd have been a few people in those seats. So the Mets jump for a 3 spot here in the second. Here's Kevin Elster, 0 for 4 in the opener. 214, 9 homers, and 37 RBI. Perez's pitch. In the left, Raines, 2 out. For Ron Darling, not a bad hitting pitcher. 220 and 4 RBI. That's 6 extra base hits. Perez getting worked here at the stadium. Winds and deals. To short, Rivera has it over to Galarraga for the out. But the Mets get 3 on the 3-run homer by Howard Johnson on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the second, 3-1 New York. So Jeff Reed, Rivera, and Casey Candel to face Darling here in the second. Jeff 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout in the opener. 220, no homers, and 9 RBI. Mike Fitzgerald, I thought, was the primary catcher for Montreal. And he rips this one over Hernandez in front of Strawberry, and that's a base hit. Get back to first. There we go. Louis Rivera, not a bunter. 224, 4 homers, 30 RBI, 0 for 3 against Gooden and the Mets in the first one. Rips this one in the left center. That's extra bases. McReynolds got a bad jump on it. Will play it off several hops. Reed is in the third. Rivera's in the second. With his first double of the year. So second and third, nobody out. You expected this one with 2 pitchers with earned run averages under 3 1/3 to be a pitcher's duel. But we've already had 4 runs, and there's nobody out here in the bottom of the second. And 2 on for Casey Candel. Who's hitting 172, no homers, and 4 RBI. Darling's pitch. Candel hits a ground ball to Darling. And Reed's going to have to hold. Throws to Hernandez for the out. 1 away for Pascual Perez, who went 2 for 54 in 88. Jamie, the balk year was 87. They also juiced the baseballs that year. Shh. But early on in 87 was 1,000 balks. Now, we've had a balk already on this replay. Not going to bunt. You're not going to... Because you can only bunt for... You could squeeze here, but why would you? Just strike out and get it over with. Strike out and get it over with, indeed. He swung on a 2-2 fastball, and Carter hangs on, 2 out. Opening... hack for 9 for Darling. 35 pitches. Hitting in 2/3. 3 hits. The home run to Brooks. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Timmy's 0 for 1. Raines can drive in his first 2 of the year with a single. Kevin Brown and Kevin Mitchell were the 2 biggies in the McReynolds deal. Also, Sean Abner. Hopefully no one decided to retire on those Sean Abner Future Star Topps cards, because that and $3 will get you a cup of coffee at Dunkin'. Kevin Mitchell, of course, would go on to the Giants and be part of their run in 89. Kevin Brown, the pitcher? The Mets got the better part of that. Struck him out. Darling got out of it clean. How about that? A 1-2 fastball swung on and missed. And the Expos leave on 2. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. And after 2, it's 3-1 New York. So top of the lineup for the Mets. Perez is opening 940 pitches. 2 hits. The home run to Johnson. No walks or strikeouts. Lenny Dykstra's 0 for 1. Into right, Hubie Brooks, 1 out. So here's Backman, who's 0 for 1. I don't think that Frank Cashin, who was the Mets GM in this era, ever got the credit outside New York for the job he did. I mean, the Mets were a moribund franchise. They bring back Seaver for 83 and spark some life in a team that had been deflated. 84, of course, was Dwight Gooden's rookie year. And then they caught fire in 85. They didn't do that well in my replay of the season. I think St. Louis won it in real life by less than 5 games, and I think I can look, but I don't think it was all that close. Oh, Kevin Brown was the number one, was a first-round pick in 83. Wow. I still think the Mets got the better end of that deal. Pitch to Backman. There's a ground ball to Candell over to Galarraga for the out. Of course, the Mets had drafted just a rich, a treasure trove of pitchers. Walt Terrell was supposed to be the other part of that rotation, but Gooden, Ron Darling, who's pitching today, Sid Fernandez. They would get Bobby Ojeda from the Red Sox. And, of course, David Cohn would come over and pitch pretty well, too. The thing with Darling, Gooden, and Cohn in 88 is that Darling's the oldest pitcher, and he's just 27. Hernandez is 0 for 1. Keith swings into left field. Raines is there. Will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Mets go in order after 2.5. It's still 3-1 New York. So Webster, Brooks, and Wallach to face Darling. Mitch is 0 for 1. Struck him out. That's 4 for Darling. He got him on a 1-2 curve. And so, yeah, to have that much starting pitching and figure you can trade someone who's actually had a very good major league career in Kevin Brown. It didn't hurt the Mets. Hubie Brooks homered his first time up. Got him. 5 for Darling and 0-2 fastball on the outside corner. So we got a good morning and a good afternoon from Darling. Let's see if Wallach can make it a good night if you're a Met fan. He walked his first time up. Darling winds and fires. Struck him out. He got the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and Darling just smiles as he goes back to the dugout after 3-1 Mets. How you doing, Steeler fan? Stan Jefferson was also dealt to the Padres. Also a first-round Mets pick. Not even a household name in his own house. So to the I'm sure for the Padres it looked like a tremendous deal. And if it wasn't for Oral Hershiser, I think the Mets would have won the whole thing. We'll find out over the next few months how that translates. Darryl Strawberry, by the way, doubled and scored on the Hojo homer in the second. Perez starts the fourth. Ground ball to Candell. Casey has it. Over to Galarraga. 1 out. So, yeah, you'll see a fair amount of the Mets. My friend John DFW, Braves for Life. Thank you, Steeler fan. 20 months. He uses his prime. Wrote to me the other day and said, you're probably not seeing a lot of the Braves in this replay. And considering they only won 54 games, it's probably a safe bet. McReynolds is 0 for 1. In the left, Raines moving over. Makes the catch, 2 out. Here's Carter. Was hit by a pitch and scored. In the right, Brooks makes the catch for the out, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Perez has settled down since the home run, and after 3.5, it's 3-1 Mets. Well, we show you these just because we can. These standings right now mean about as much as my chances of dating Taylor Swift. But if you look in the American League East in the standings, the Oriole icon is still first. The Giants are off to a good start. They've beaten the Dodgers twice in a row. Don't tell Scotty. And the A's, I think, have already clinched the American League West. So that's a good look at the National League leaders. Again, after one game. It's early. So here it'll be Galarraga, Reed, and Rivera here in the fourth. Andres struck out his first time up. Base hit right center field. Strawberry will grab that off the wall. Galarraga goes into second for his first double of the year. Again, he'd have 79 extra base hits. Strawberry dove for it, but got a late jump. Here's Jeff Reed. Jeff singled his first time up. Fourth hit for the Expos. The Mets have two. To Backman. One out, and Galarraga moves to third. Galarraga, a big boy. Actually has good speed. He's a 7 out there. Here's Luis Rivera. He doubled his first time up. Not vintage Darling except for the 3 strikeouts in the third. To short, Elster. An absolute web jam. Gets the rug burn, picks it up, throws to Hernandez. Rivera looked kind of stunned and is thrown out. Galarraga will score to make it 3-2. But Elster says, Rafael who? And remember, in the late 80s, it's carpet over concrete. In not a very good fall. There's Candel. Casey's 0 for 1. So a 1-run game now, 2 out in the fourth. And Casey draws the walk. Brings up Perez, who struck out his first time up. Darling is fanned 6 with 2 outs here in the fourth. Oh, and he draws the walk. The Beer League walk. A 3-1 fastball missed way outside. And that's 3 walks for Darling. And so 18 batters deep, 70 pitches. First start of the year, of course, you're not fully up to speed. 3 2/3, 4 hits. A home run. He walked 3 and struck out 6 so far. Timmy Raines is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So Candel, the tying run on second. Perez, the go-ahead run on first. Pitch to Raines. Down the line, past a diving Hernandez. Strawberry has to fish it out. Candel is going to tie the ball game. The throw down to Elster is going to be not in time. Raines has a double, and Perez scores from first. And the Expos take a 4-3 lead. A Labatt 50 for everybody who's watching. My goodness. So here's Mitch Webster, who's 0 for 2 in the strikeout. Into right center, Dykstra makes the catch, and finally the inning is over. But a big inning for the Expos. They get 3 runs on 2 hits and no errors. Boy, that walk really hurt Darling. After 4, Montreal 4, the Mets 3. So Johnson, Elster, and Darling to face Perez here in the 5th. Howard smashed a bomb to right center to make it 3-1 New York in the 2nd. Just chops one over the mound of Candel. Has to make a bang-banger over to Galarraga, 1 out. Elster is 0 for 1. The thing with teams with high expectations, such as the Mets, is that, of course, in the computer it doesn't matter so much. That you'll lose games like this, it kind of deflates your confidence. I mean, can you out there in the chat tell me a team that had such as high as expectations as this Met team did back in '88? Pitch to Elster in the left field. Raines ride the Schwinn coming in, and will be 2 out. See what they do with Darling here. He's 0 for 1. Pitch count wise, 75 through 4. Stays in the ball game. Struck him out. First for Perez. Halfway home on a Friday afternoon in Burlington. Another high wind warning. We love the wind here. I think I saw Dorothy and Toto get tornado insurance. Halfway home, 4-3 Expos. Well, if you join us late, happy Friday. It's the Mets and the Expos on the second day of the season for both of these teams. Hubie Brooks sent one to Vermont in the first, a 419-foot shot that landed in the football seats in left field to make it 1-0. Then in the second, Howard Johnson sent one to right field to make it a 3-1 ball game. He already has 2 home runs in 2 games. In the fourth, Montreal would take the lead. Louis Rivera, a fielder's choice, to make it 3-2. And then Tim Raines doubled on the line at first to score 2, including Pascual Perez, who did some oxygen after he got back to the dugout because the pitcher scored from first base. So Darling 5 hits through 4, and all 4 runs in the homer charged to him. He's walked 3 and struck out 6. Perez 2 hits through 5, all 3 runs on the homer by Hojo, and just the 1 strikeout. Tribe fan says, to answer my question, the 96 through 99 Indians, that would make sense, especially coming off of 95 and how close they came in 97. Possibly the 23 Padres. Yeah, with that payroll. The Mets, again, they took the Dodgers credit card and spent heavily. The 2024 Yankees, really? Or possibly the Orioles' expectations will be huge. The Phillies are kind of up there, too. But yeah, the Padres and the Mets last year. Yeah, that's true. Scratch that. The 24 Dodgers, after spending the GDP of a South Pacific country. Togo. Wasn't that the country that had all the earthquakes on SCTV? Togo. Hubie Brooks homered his first time up. He's 1 for 2. He's also struck out. Pitch from Darling to start the 5th is a base hit into right center field. That's extra bases. Strawberry got a bad jump, and Hubie's in the second standing. Togo's in Africa. God bless the rains down in Africa. But yeah, what was the name of the country that fake country that they always would pick on in SCTV? No, it wasn't a real country, I don't believe. Tonga would be in South Pacific for sure. Tim Wallach is 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. Actually, I would think that the real country would be Fiji or something like that, but of course, Tim, Tribe fan, is the quiz master. It is Togo that they used on SCTV. So, okay. As he responds, when are you applying for Jeopardy? Pitch to Wallach. Tim hits one up the middle past a diving backman. He won't be able to get there. Brooks will round third. Dykstra gets a good throw on it. Let's see what they do with it. It's going to the plate, but Brooks slides past Gary Carter. And the run scores. It's 5-3. And Wallach will stay on first. Galarraga has a double and a strikeout. He's 1 for 2. To third, Hojo to Backman for 1. Wally throws to first, and they're going to go around the horn. 5-4-3 on the double play. 2 out. Never applying for Jeopardy, Tribe Fan says. I know poop about art, classical music, literature, and any history. Sports Jeopardy. Someone wanted me to try out for Sports Jeopardy. I'm surprised, though, with your trivia knowledge that you wouldn't be good at history. I know poop about literature and art. I read this morning an article that Emma Stone has taken the test for Jeopardy several times, and they keep denying her because she's a celebrity. She doesn't want to be on the celebrity Jeopardy. She wants to be on the real thing. Jeff Reed, by the way, 1 for 2 with the single. 5-3 Expos here in the 5th. Ground ball to short. Elster by the bag at second. Over to Hernandez for the out, and that will retire the side. Another run, though, for Montreal on 2 hits. They don't leave anybody on. No errors. We go to the 6th. 5-3 Le Expos. I did Scholars Bowl, Tim, in high school. Or College Bowl if you're old enough. Opening 18 for Perez. 70 pitches, 5 innings. 2 hits, the home run to Johnson, and a strikeout. Lenny is 0 for 2. Dexter 2 for 7 on the year. My senior year, it was a team of 4. If you're down in the D.C. area, oh gosh, it's not information, please. That was up here. My face itches, hold on. Some of you might know it as That's Academic. But up here we called it Scholars Bowl. And essentially it's a team of 4 of us from one high school going against another team of 4 from another high school. Pitch to Dykstra. There's a ground ball to Rivera. Louis got it. He's going to throw it to Galarraga, and that's an out. Maybe. Yeah, wait till it gets in the glove, Ron. 2 out. Or 1 out for Backman, who's 0 for 2. And so my senior year, we made the state championship. We got on TV and everything. Backman, by the way, is 0 for 2. And we played a nearby high school where I live now. And you do, the format of the game is you do a buzzing question, you buzz in, and then you get a bonus, essentially 30 or 40 points, something that's a follow-up that your team can answer. And so you do like two 8-minute halves of that, and then at halftime they kind of had a rapid fire thing. They'd give you 10 questions, and whatever you got was 10 points apiece. Pitch to Backman. Wally strikes out. That's 2 for Perez. He chased it. He looked at a 2-2 fastball. Hernandez, by the way, is 0 for 2. And so in the state championship match against nearby high school to Burlington, I didn't grow up in Burlington, by the way. I grew up in the Montpelier area. We get the halftime 10 is classical music symphonies. And the really smart young lady that Colchester, who we were playing, had on their team was in the all-state band. And I remember looking over just to be nice to see them answer their stuff, and her eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. And I believe she aced it. I think she went 10 for 10. And so not only did we not get the chance to do anything with any of these questions that we would have known the answers to anyway, but when you do that halftime thing, you get to clean up your opponent's misses. Needless to say, we did not go to Disney World. That was if you won the state championship, you went to Disney for the Nationals. Pitch to Hernandez is a base hit in the left field. Raines will pick it up, and Keith has himself a single. Third hit from the Mets. Strawberry is one of those 3. He doubled and scored 1 for 2. To be fair, one of those in an earlier round was bowl games for football. And no, we didn't leave any for the other team. Reed and Perez have a word. Pasquale's pitch. There's a line drive to right and foul. And somebody from St. Jean de Richelieu made that catch. An 0-2 count, 2 out to Perez. 5-3 Expos here in the 6th. Strawberry digging in. Perez's pitch. And Darrell sends this one to right. Back goes Brooks, but Hubie will track this down, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the 6th. Wake up, my boring story's over. 5-3 Expos. So Rivera, Candel, and Perez to face Darling here in the 6th. Louis has a double and RBI. He's 1 for 2. And that's a line drive pass Backman into center field. So the Expos have timed Darling pretty well. 8 hits for Montreal. And again, Candel really can't bunt. He can hit and run, but Rivera really can't steal. Casey 0 for 1 with a walk. Chopper to Backman might be 2. Elster for 1. And Kevin's throw is late, and Candel will beat it out the fielder's choice. So 1 out. And we're going to bunt Pascual Perez. Hojo and Hernandez play for the bunt. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to try and steal. Candel is a 77% chance. Darling goes home, and Candel doesn't get a good jump. Buck Rogers, on the 24th and a half century, just kind of kicking the bottom step of the dugout there. Perez squares. It is down. Hernandez has it and just tags out Perez himself. So 3U on the sacrifice. Candel to second for Raines. Tim has doubled, driven in 2, including Perez in the 4th, and struck out. Darling, not a great first performance of the year. This won't be a quality start. 93 pitches through 27 batters, 5 2/3, 8 hits, the home run to Brooks, 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. Any guesses on who you think's going to win in the football playoffs this weekend? Pitch to Raines, and they're going to walk him. Interesting. So 2 out. And here's Webster. Mitch is 0 for 3. He has struck out. Darling has walked 4 and fanned 6. Slow chopper to Hernandez. Keith's got it. Flips it to Darling. Webster is running, but he is retired. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the 7th here. Expos 5, Mets 3. We want to give a funny answer about Casey and Buffalo. I guess that wouldn't be the Sunshine Band, would it? Especially with all that snow that's supposed to come to Buffalo. But won't. Go Browns. Tribe fan obviously rooting for Is that game, do you think, going to be moved to Cleveland? McReynolds, by the way, is 0 for 2. Chopper to third. Wallach over to Galarraga for the out. Of course, Miami and Kansas City Dolphin fans upset that it's not going to be tropical. No, that game is in Houston, and their weather is fine as of now and indoors. I was referring to the Bills game. I knew that Cleveland was on the road. Congratulations on making the playoffs, by the way. And if you're, a Dolphins fan, win your division. Then you get home playoff games. Gary Carter is 0 for 1. Goodell says the game will not be moved to Cleveland. You going to get any snow out of that too, or is that just going to blow onto Orchard Park? Pitch to Carter. Ball 4. So Gary is on first with a 1-out walk, and Hojo was the tying run. He homered in the 2nd. Not sure, but we'll find out. Okay. Now it's 4 RBI on the year. Popped up right side. Galarraga in foul territory makes the catch. 2 out. Kevin Elster is at the plate. Kevin is 0 for 2. So Perez certainly won't bat again, but he's going to go 7 unless he royally screws up right now. And he allows a balk. Well, the rule book from 87 apparently is the same as early 88. I believe this is my 3rd stream of the season, and we've had 3 balks. So a 1 strike count to Elster, and Carter on second. Gets away from Reed, and Carter moves up 90. So a wild pitch in the dirt, and the Mets are doing their best impression of the St. Louis Cardinals. A 1-1 count to Kevin Elster. To center, Webster running in, makes the catch to retire the side. Stretch time, 5-3 Expos. It'll be Hubie Brooks, Tim Wallach, and Andres Galarraga to face Darling here in the 7th. Hubie, that solo home run, that landed in Vermont in the 1st. Also as a double, he's 2 for 3. And is struck out. Darling right at 100 pitches. Got him, 7 for Ron, and 0-2 fastball in the inside corner. So here's Wallach. Tim 1 for 2. A walk, a strikeout, and an RBI. And if you missed the news earlier today, Jared Mayo has been named the coach of the New England Patriots. In the left, McReynolds has that time perfectly, and Wallach is retired. That brings up Andres Galarraga, who was 1 for 3, has struck out, doubled, and scored. And oh, by the way, I am not returning 17 Emmy Awards because I sent false information to get trophies. Just saying. Just saying. Pitch to Galarraga. Into left field. McReynolds. That is down the line. Second verse is the same as the first. And after 7, it's 5-3 Montreal. So Perez will start the 8th. See what the Mets do with Darling here. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Lee Mazzilli, talking about old times, will pinch hit. Mazzilli, 147 in 88 with no homers and 12 RBI, back where he started with the Mets. Got him. A full count fastball outside, 1 out. So 27 batters deep for Perez. 110 pitches, 7 1/3, 3 hits, the home run to Johnson. A walk and 3 strikeouts. Nails is 0 for 3. Perez deals. Slow chopper to Rivera. Louis has it, throws to Galarraga. And Lenny beat it out. That's an infield hit. And so Rivera thought he had enough on it, but he didn't. Only the 4th hit for the Mets. Here's Backman, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Throw to first, and did they get him? No, he's back. It was close. Perez winds and fires. There goes Dykstra. The hit and run is on, but it's foul out of play, and the count is 0-2. So somebody from Quebec City made that catch. They pitch out, and Dykstra's not going anywhere. So now 1-2 the count. Dykstra stays put. Ground ball to first. Galarraga goes to Rivera at second. Louis will not get Backman. In fact, there's no throw, and they get the fielder's choice 3-6. So here's Keith Hernandez. Keith is 1 for 3 with the single. New this year in the game, oh, by the way, is it doesn't tell you when your pitchers are getting tired. You got to go find it out yourself, which is more realistic. Hernandez ground ball to Rivera. He goes to first, and Hernandez is retired. So the Mets get a hit. They're going to bring in Gene Walter, a household name in his own house. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Expos. So Walter is 28. Throws the fastball at 92 and is a ground ball plus pitcher. 0-1, 19 games. A 3.78 ERA. He went 16 2/3, 21 hits, no homers, walked 11, struck out 14. That'll do it for Jeff Reed. Apparently 900 people caught for the Expos. Craig Nettles was on the Expos at 88? My goodness. All right, gang, who can hit a lefty? Mike Fitzgerald. Who we don't have a picture of. 271, 5 homers, and 23 RBI. We start the bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Montreal. Fitzgerald, ground ball to third. Hojo over to first for the out. You guys are a quiet bunch today. Here's Louis Rivera. Louis is 2 for 3. A single, a double, and an RBI. In the right center, that's a base hit. And is he going to go for 2? Dykstra has taken his time, but we're not going to chance it. And Louis has his 3rd hit of the day. For the half a season in 88, Nettles was on the Expos. He had 16 hits and 93 official at-bats. He must have been 8,000 years old. I don't know where you would use him. I mean, you got probably the best defensive shortstop outside of Schmidt with Wallach at 3rd. Candel, by the way, is 0 for 2 with a walk. Not bad at all, Jamie, for an 80-year-old. Not. All right, he was 44! He was 44 years old. He played 5 games at first, and he tried to play 12 games at third and made 4 errors. And made Butch Hobson look like a gold glove. Stayed the whole season, but only played 81 games. Kind of wonder if it was just there for him to be a clubhouse leader. This is not a veteran team, although Raines and Brooks had been there for a while. Pitch to Candel. Casey up the middle to Walter, goes to Backman for 1. Wally goes to first, and it is a 1-6 or 1-4-3 double play. We go to the 9th. It's the Expos, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Mets need 2 to tie, 3 to go ahead. 5-3 Expos. So Fitzgerald, who's a good defensive catcher, an 8 and a 5. Perez will come out. Tim Burke will come in to close it. Burke was Reardon hurt, or had we begun the horrible Jeff Reardon era in Boston? 3 and 5 was Timmy Burke, a 3.40 ERA, 61 games. He's 29 years old, fastball at 87. One way to find out. Is to click that button. And no, Jeffrey was Or was he in Minnesota at that point? I should know this. Three and 5, 18 saves, a 3.40 ERA. Tim, 82 innings, 84 hits, 7 home runs, 25 walks, and 42 strikeouts. So Strawberry, McReynolds, and Carter. Perez only allowed 4 hits. Strawberry had one of them, a double. A run scored, he's 1 for 3. Fitzgerald, an 8 and 5 behind the plate. It's a whole new battery. We changed our 9-volt. Burke, a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. And Strawberry ropes this one into right center. Webster moving over. 1 out. For McReynolds is 0 for 3. Stay tuned after the game. We'll tell you what we're doing next week. I'm assuming we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at noon Eastern. Ball 4, and so the Mets will bring up the tying run here in the 9th. And Gary Carter, who is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch, walked, and scored. And that ball is gone. Gary Carter has tied this game in the 9th. You could hear RJL cheering all the way from Miami. A 1-out, game-tying home run for the former Expo. That was a laser shot out there. My goodness. And so Tim Burke, welcome to the closer role. Not today. He blows the save, and the Mets have a 2-spot on with 1 out in the 9th. And so here's Howard Johnson, who was 1 for 3, but that one was a 3-run shot in the 2nd. So all 5 Met runs have come on homers. Roped past Galarraga to Brooks. Maybe some bonus baseball? You never know. It'll be a pinch hitter, Raines and Webster in the 9th for the Expos. Elster is 0 for 3. There are times when you just kind of feel like you've been haunted. We talked about Carter for Hubie Brooks. And, you know, Hubie was not a bad player for the Expos. But, man, that has to sting, doesn't it? Pitch to Elster. Kevin hits a line drive to right. Hubie's there. Hubie says, would you stop calling me a bad player? Throws to first. Did they get Hojo? No. It was close. So the Mets will go with a pinch hitter here, I would imagine. 2 out. Go ahead run on first for Dave Magadan. They're reaching for the Bromo Seltzer in St. Louis when I mentioned that name. 277, a homer, and 35 RBI. Worse to give it up Pedro, Walker, Cordero, Lansing, and Grissom for practically nothing? Hey, don't pick on Carl Bravano and Tony Armas Jr. No, the Expos. Well, they got at least Mark Langston for Randy Johnson. No, the Expos were the Tampa Bay Rays of their day. But it started with a Carter trade. So Burke, go ahead run on first. Magadan at the plate. Ground ball to Candell. Casey throws to first, and that will retire the side. So Roger McDowell is in a 5-5 tie in the 9th. But the home run by Gary Carter sets up some cardiac baseball. McDowell, in 62 games, went 5-5 with a 2.63 ERA. 28 years old, fastball at 87. An extreme ground ball pitcher. 89 innings, 80 hits, a home run, 31 walks, and 46 strikeouts. I think, didn't Orozco go to the Dodgers at this point? We're obviously not hitting Tim Burke, who can hit a righty. And the answer, Wallace Johnson. There he is. 309, a triple, and 3 RBI. Rains on deck. In a 5-5 tie, bottom of the ninth. Slow chopper to Elster. Kevin's got it. 1 out. Brings up Rains. Tim 1 for 3. A double. In the fourth, it drove in 2. A walk and a strikeout. McDowell's got to be careful because Rains can run. Gets away from Carter on strike 3. The throw down to Hernandez, and there's 2 out. So we're 1 out away from some free baseball. That was not a sentence, Ron. Here's Mitch Webster. He is 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Got him. McDowell strikes out 2, and you're getting some freebies. After 9, no runs, no hits, and no errors. It's the Mets 5, the Expos 5. Well, I can't go with Neil Heaton. We'll go with Jeff Parrott. A plethora of extra innings baseball from the community lately. Have you and RJL had some long games? So Parrott, Parrett, is 27. Fastball at 93 and a fly ball pitcher. He went 12 and 4, all out of the pen for Montreal, with a 2.65 ERA in 61 games. As Dykstra steps up 1 for 4, Parrott 91 and 2/3, 66 hits, 8 home runs, 45 walks, and 62 strikeouts. Lenny 1 for 4 today with a single. Into right, Brooks 1 out. RJL had a 14-inning game on Wednesday. Demos had a 14-inning game, and Tropfin had an 11-inning game last night. We're just all itching for some baseball, Tim. That's all. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Mets. They've left on 4. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and the Expos have left on 6. RJL's doing 72. What are you and Demos doing? Backman is 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Into left goes the opposite way. Timmy, 2 out. Here's Hernandez. Keith is 1 for 4 with a single. In the left center, Webster will track that one down, and the Mets go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the 10th here at the Big O, 5-5. So Hubie Brooks, Timmy Wallach, and Andres Galarraga. Demos is doing the 75 series. Wow, we'll be doing the 93 World Series. And Tribe Fan is crawling along with the 2007, I think, playoffs for you, right? So Hubie Brooks can win this game. Heart of the order for the Expos here in the 10th. Chopper up the middle. Backman by the bag at second. Over to Hernandez. 1 out. For Wallach, Tim is 1 for 3. A walk, a single, a strikeout, and an RBI. 9 hits for the Expos, 6 for the Mets. Base hit right field. Strawberry will field it. 10 hits now for Montreal. Now you got to be careful to Galarraga, who does have power. Tribe Fan doing the National League Championship Series through 4 games of both LCSs. The ALCS is in the can, awaiting to be uploaded. Cool beans. If you're not subscribing to Tim, you should. A good way to learn how to play Stratomatic. Pitch to Galarraga. Struck him out. That's 3 for McDowell. A full count curveball chased. So 2 out for Fitzgerald, who's 0 for 1. McDowell 1 out away from finishing a second full inning. Snap throw down to Hernandez, and then Wallach just barely got back. So 1 ball count. Carter trying to steal it out at first. Fitzgerald pops it up. Carter doffs the mask to the track, makes the catch, and the free base. No, he dropped it. Oh my goodness, he dropped it. And the crowd razzes him a bit, and it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Fitzgerald has a reprieve from the premier. Down the third base line and foul. And somebody from St. Albans, Vermont, made that grab. A ball and 2 strikes. To third, Howard Johnson has it. Get your 23 flavors there. Wallach retired at second, and the band plays on. After 10, it's still 5-5. So the Met error does not hurt, and the Expos can't take advantage of the hit. So Strawberry, McReynolds, and Carter. Gary might be a little peeved at this point. Strawberry 1 for 4. A double and a run scored. Into right field, Brooks. 1 out. So here's McReynolds. Kevin is 0 for 3. A walk and a run scored. Into left center. Back goes Webster. He's a running and makes the catch. 2 out. So that'll bring up Carter. Gary, of course, a legend in Montreal. His number 8 retired. It must have been either this year or 89. Where I lived in central Vermont, did not have cable, but if the weather was right, you would get SRC, the French language service of the CBC, or Société Radio Canada. And it had to have been a Met Expo game at some point, and that would have definitely got my interest because I had my Mr. Met voodoo doll ready to pounce. And so they interviewed Gary before the game, and normally when you are interviewing a bilingual reporter and an English-speaking star, you get the original question in the native language of, in this case, French, and then translate it back into English for the ball player. And so that's what they did with Gary, and Gary, God bless him, answered the question in flawless French. No wonder why he was a hero up there. And Mackie Sasser is not going to pinch hit. Not in this one. Left field, Raines will make the catch. And that will do it. So after 10.5, no runs, no hits, and no errors, Terry Leach will come in to pitch. Still 5-5. Leach, the submariner, 34 years old. That fastball, if you could call it that, is at 84. He went 7-2 for the Mets, a 2.54 ERA. 52 games. 92 innings, 95 hits. 5 homers, 24 walks, and 51 strikeouts. Rivera Candel and a pinch hitter for the Expos. I'm supposed to tape a show after this, oh, by the way. Of course we're running long. 5 runs, 6 hits, and error for the Mets. They've left on 4. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Expos, and they have left on 7. Rivera 3 for 4 with a double. Grounds it to third. Johnson's there. 1 out. Leach, by the way, is 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Candel is 0 for 3. He's walked, running into a double play, and scored. Got him. So a 2-2 fastball. Leach got him. Leach was such an underarm submarine pitcher, his knuckles nearly dragged on the ground when he delivered. We're not batting Jeff Parrott against a righty. Tom Foley. And we got changes on both ends. So It's lefty versus lefty. Good move by the computer. I now have to burn Tom Foley. Randy Myers. Well, we got a pitching change. Let's deal with Randy Myers first. Randy Myers, the reason why Jesse Orosco was expendable. 26 years old, fastball at 94 and a ground ball plus pitcher. 7-3 with a 1.72 ERA in 55 games. 68 innings, 45 hits, 5 homers. He walked 17 and struck out 69. 2 out here in the 11th. Foley pretty much being thrown to the wolves here. Went 1 for 4 in the opener. 265, 5 homers, and 43 RBI. Elster. And to the 12th we go. After 11, Mets 5, Expos 5. So a new pitcher for Montreal is going to be Andy McGaffigan. Andy pitched on opening day. Wow, we got our first look at a game log this year. 32 years old, fastball at 90. Ground ball pitcher. In the opener, went 1 inning, allowed 19, or through 19 pitches, allowed a home run. On the real year, 6-0, 4 saves, a 2.76 ERA, 91 in the third innings, 81 hits, 4 home runs, so a pretty good keep it in the ballpark pitcher. 37 walks and 71 strikeouts. Howard Johnson's had himself a day. He singled and hit a 3-run homer. He's 2 for 4. 5-5 as we start the 12th. Elster in a pinch hitter here in the inning. And Hojo draws the walk. There's a threat to steal. A full count fastball missed up and away. Is Elster a threat to bunt? Wallach and Galarraga are playing for it. He does. Fitzgerald throws to second. Rivera is there for 1. Galarraga, double play. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Wow. So Kevin Elster couldn't get that one down. It goes 1-6-3 on the double play. And we just went from the Mets having the ideal situation to nobody on and 2 out. So you know Randy Myers isn't going to bat. I wouldn't think he'd bat here, although there are 2 out and nobody on. If you were to do it, this would be the time. He went 1 for 4. It's not a bad play to leave him in. Yeah, DP on the bunt, a big play. Raines, Webster, and Brooks in the 12th for Montreal. Myers will be pinch hit for by Timmy Tuffle. Timmy 1 for 4 on opening day. He and Wally Backman were the platoon at second. Overall, 234, 4 homers, and 31 RBI. McGaffigan, big smile on his face now with 2 out. Struck him out. And the Expos get out of it. And David Cone? Wow, he made 7 relief appearances for the Mets in '88. And to paraphrase Johnny Carson, I did not know that. Coney's 25. He throws the fastball hard at 94. His first appearance of the year. 20-3 with an earned run average of 2.22. He won a Cy Young Award in '94. But '94 is the year that if a tree fell in the forest, would you know it? And 231 in the third innings. He allowed 178 hits, 10 home runs. He walked 80 and struck out a team-high 213. Raines, Webster, and Brooks to face Cone here in the 12th. And with Dykstra leading off the 13th, should the game get that far, Cone's probably good for 2 or 3 innings, if needed. Timmy is 1 for 4. He has doubled, struck out twice, walked, and drove in his first 2 of the year. into right field. Strawberry, 1 out. Here's Mitch Webster. He is 0 for 5 today with 2 strikeouts. Bucked him. So the winning run is on. 1 out here in the 12th for Hubie Brooks. It was 2 for 5. He is doubled, solo homer, scored twice, and struck out twice. Throw to first, and Webster with good speed doesn't go anywhere. 5 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Mets. They've left on 4. 5 runs, 10 hits for Montreal, no errors, and they've left on 7. And another balk. Jamie, I think you're right. I think 88 might have been a heavy balk year to start the year. I remember 87 being that way. So the winning run is on second. And a 2-strike count to Hubie Brooks with 1 out, and Timmy Wallach, who is 2 for 4 on deck. Pitch to Hubie, struck him out. Cone got him to look at an 89-mile-an-hour rainbow curve on an 0-2 count. And Hubie is struck out 3 times. So here's Wallach with 2 out. Timmy is 2 for 4. And no, we're not pitch hitting Craig Nettles. He has singled twice, driven in a run, walked, and struck out. And if the band plays on, Dykstra, Backman, and Hernandez for the Mets. Provided Cone can get the 3rd out here. Pitch to Wallach. That's into left. McReynolds. And we go to the 13th. No runs, no hits. The Expos have left on 8. After 12, it's 5-5. So it'll be Dykstra, Backman, and Hernandez to face McGaffigan. Lenny 1 for 5 with a single. Up the middle, Candell can't get there, and the Mets have the leadoff single. So here's Backman, who is 0 for 5 with a strikeout. McGaffigan throws to first, and Dykstra is back. We pitch out. Lenny not going anywhere. So now he's got to work on Wally, who dribbles one down on a bunt, and Galarraga's got it. Throws to Candell. Dykstra goes to second. 1 out. For Hernandez, a single gives the Mets the lead. Galarraga, Fitzgerald, and Louis Rivera, who's 3 for 5 for the Expos in the 13th. Left center, Webster has it. And Dykstra's going for 3rd, and he's in there. So 2 out for Strawberry. And McGaffigan says, I want to pitch to him, and Buck says, you do that. Strawberry is 1 for 5. A double and a run scored. And you're not walking Strawberry to face McReynolds. So McGaffigan trying to shut down this rally right here. To 3rd, Wallach gobbles it up like Pac-Man. Strawberry can run. It's got to be a good throw. It's going to be close. And he's safe. He beat it out. Dykstra scores, and the Mets go ahead 6-5. This has been all that in a bag of chips, hasn't it? You got, as we said, one of the best in the business at 3rd and Wallach. But Strawberry has good speed. And on the turf, you're going to get a true roll. And Strawberry took advantage of that. Here's McReynolds. He's 0 for 4. Kevin has walked and scored. There goes Darrell. The throw down to Candell. And Darrell is out, trying to steal. However, the Mets get the go-ahead run on 2 hits and an error. We go to the bottom of the 13th. David Cone trying to finish it out. Mets 6, Expos 5. So Galarraga, Fitzgerald, and Rivera. Galarraga is, we said doubled. He's 1 for 5. Cone starts the 13th. Struck him out. Got him on a fastball swinging. So Montreal 1 to tie and 2 to win. Fitzgerald is 0 for 2. Struck him out. So 1-2 fastball to the inside corner, 2 away, and Luis Rivera is the last chance saloon for the Expos. This shows you just how good this Met team was. They will have stolen this win if Cone can get the last out. He does, and the Mets win it. David Cone strikes out the side in the 13th. He got Luis Rivera to chase a fastball, and that'll do it. Yeah, Louis was we were out, but he was 3 for 7. And so 4 hours and 14 minutes, we go 13 innings. The Mets go to 2-0, 6 runs, 8 hits, an error, and they left on 4. That's pretty productive. The Expos, 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and they leave on 8. Ron Darling, 7 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Again, 6 shutout innings for the bullpen. He walked 4 and struck out 7. Cone gets the win, 4 strikeouts and 2 outs. Tim Burke, looking like Bob Stanley out there. Pascual Perez, 8 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. A homer, walked 1, and struck out 3. McGaffigan, really the tough luck loser. 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout. And Parrott pitched pretty well. Our Digital Dice MVP is going to be Gary Carter. He scored twice, including a home run. So 6-5, the final here. The Mets go to 2-0, and that icon should just kind of stay up there forever now if you're a Mets fan. The rest of this Wednesday, April 6th in baseball. The Expos, by the way, struck out 15 times in that game. Yankees beat the Twins 8-7. Candelaria 1-0. There's my answer for Jeff Reardon. He took the loss. Kirby Puckett 3 for 5 with a double. Tigers go to 2-0. They beat the Red Sox 9-7. Paul Gibson 1-0. Lee Smith 0-1. Alan Trammell a homer and 4 RBI. Yankees pounded out 17 hits, by the way. Mariners derailed the A's 4-2. Trout 1-0. Eric Plunk 0-1. Reed gets his first save. Pittsburgh beats Philadelphia 6-1. Doug Drabeck 1-0. Kevin Gross 0-1. Bobby Bowe 2 for 3, a homer and 2 RBI. Milwaukee shuts down the Orioles 1-0. Odell Jones 1-1 in 2 games. Mike Morgan takes the loss. Dan Plesac gets the save. Cubs beat the Braves 5-2. Greg Maddux 1-0. Zane Smith 0-1. Ryan Sandberg 2 for 5, a homer and 2 RBI. 16 hits for the Blue Jays. They beat Kansas City 11-4. Flanagan 1-0. Charlie Leibrandt 0-1. Fred McGriff 2 solo or a homer, 2 for 2, a homer and 2 RBI. San Diego downs Houston in 11-3-2. Sierra 1-0. Heathcock 0-1. Randy Reddy 2 for 4 and 2 doubles. Cleveland 12, Texas 2. Greg Swindell 1-0. Bobby Witt 0-1. Buddy Bell 3 for 4, a homer and 3 RBI. 4 errors by the White Sox. Angels beat them 10-1. Dan Petrie 1-0. Jack McDowell 0-1, and Brett Boone or Bob Boone goes 2 for 2. Next week on this channel, on Monday, we'll have the Pirates and the Cardinals. Danny Cox versus Fisher. So the National League champions. Wednesday, Toronto and Minnesota. Jimmy Key and Charlie Lee. And then next Thursday, the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So 3 big games next week. Hope you'll join us. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. So long.